Ahoy! Welcome back to Monday Magic. I'm Monday. Today's episode is my first budget deck, so let's take a look. The commander for this deck is Borygmos Enraged. It's 8 mana for a 7/6 with trample. It says whenever Borygmos Enraged deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top 3 cards of your library, put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. It also has the ability to discard a land, and it will deal 3 damage to any target. So this commander can basically turn basic lands in your hand into a lightning bolt that you don't have to pay any mana for. It's pretty good. At the time of making this video, the deck comes in around €15, £12.95, or $17.40, which is, really budget. It does a lot of work for the amount of money that it costs to make. It's pretty fun, pretty interesting. Let's start with the artifacts for this deck. There's an Arcane Signet. You know what it does. Armillary Sphere. Pay 2, tap it, and search for 2 basic land cards with them, put them into your hand. We want as many lands in hand as possible with this deck. It helps it go really good. Bag of Holding, as whenever you discard a card, you can exile it underneath the Bag of Holding, and then at some point you can pay 4 mana to return all cards exiled back to your hand. So if you have this on the battlefield, you're throwing lands around, you're dealing damage, instead of them going into the graveyard, they go under this, and then you can pay 4 and get them all back again. Rinse and repeat. It's a really good way to get lands back into your hand. Soaring. And a way for his bauble. It's budget way to just get an extra land onto the battlefield tapped. Just a bit of extra ramp because the commander's obviously 8 mana. The creatures for the deck. There's a Beanstalk Worm. We don't really care too much about the creature, but what we do care about is the sorcery that's attached to it. For 2 mana, you can play an additional land this turn. This deck needs a lot of ramp to try and get up and running as soon as possible. Cheering Crowd, again, 2 mana. It's a bit of a group huggish card. Other people can gain mana from it. If it comes back round to you, if you play it turn 2, by the time it gets around to turn 3, you can have an extra 5 colourless mana, which can really help get that commander out. Giant Green Seeker, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it into your hand. Again, gets a land into the hand, really good for the commander. Goblin Clearcutter, you can sack a forest, add 3 mana in any combination. It's just a bit of quick mana. You can tap the forest for a green mana to float it, then sacrifice the forest and add more mana. So, 4 mana there, the cost of sacrificing a land. Groundskeeper is a way to get some of the discarded lands back to your hand should you need them. Living Twister sort of does what the commander also does, but it costs mana to do it, or you can pay a green and return a tapped land you control to its owner's hand. So if someone's nearly finished off, you just need a couple more, you can use this to do a bit more damage. Magmakin Artillerist. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. So whenever you're throwing those lands around, you've got 3 targeted damage, and you can also deal 1 damage to each opponent per land discarded. This thing can go absolutely crazy with one of the cards that's coming up. I'll talk about in a little while. Mina and Den is an additional land drop. Again, ramping, trying to get that commander out as soon as possible. Orcish Lumberjack, like the one that we had before, but it only costs 1 mana. Sacrifice the forest, add 3 mana. It's really, really good early gameplay to get a bit of extra mana, try and get your commander out a couple of turns early. The Perennial Behemoth, it means you can play lands from your graveyard, so you can discard the land for the commander's ability, deal some damage to something, and then play that land from your graveyard for a turn. Steve is Steve, it's ramp. Tinderwall, 1 mana, you can sacrifice it to add 2 red mana to your mana pool. Again, another way to get a bit of extra mana. We want that commander out as soon as possible, and with it being 8 CMC, it's a pretty hefty price to pay. Turn Timber Sower, whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you can make a 0/1 plant creature token. So this is really good because you're discarding lands. You can get some extra blockers if people are going wide, if people are swinging at you without trample, you can use those to mitigate quite a bit of damage. And then you can also use it to sacrifice 3 creatures to return a land from your graveyard to your hand. So again, you can pay a mana, bring stuff back, deal more damage, rinse and repeat. And then the Yavimaya Elder is, when it dies, search for 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, gets lands to your hand, and it also has an ability to draw an additional card there as well. So potentially 3 lands into your hand there, or one of the other pieces for the deck. Onto enchantments. An abundance. It's a great card. If you would draw a card, you can instead choose land or non-land, reveal cards until you get the chosen kind and put it into your hand. This is really good because if you need lands, you can use it to get lands. If you have loads of lands in your hand and you want to try and find another piece of the puzzle, you can use it to get that. Also, interestingly, negates any draw, because you don't technically draw the card, you're revealing it and then putting it into your hand. So if people have Smothering Tithes, things like that, you're not technically drawing those cards, so it gets around having to pay those taxing costs. Keen Sense. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Now note, this does not say combat damage, this just says damage. So you can throw a land with your commander, deal 3 damage to someone's face, and then draw a card, potentially drawing another land. If you get this on your commander or onto the Magma Kiln Artillerist that I said about before, you can be drawing an absolute ton of cards. You get it onto the Magma Kiln, it's dealing 1 damage to each opponent, so you're throwing 1 land, hitting everyone for 1 each, plus an extra 3 wherever you want it to go, and then you're drawing 3 cards because you've had 3 opponents hit for 1 damage each from the ping ability, and then you have more lands to rinse and repeat. This thing can basically win you the game if it gets onto your commander, or ideally onto the artillerist. And then there's a Snake Umbra, which does exactly the same thing as Keen Sense, except it also has +1/+1 and Totem Armor. Costs a little bit more to cast, but these 2 cards in particular are absolute goats in this deck. If you get one of them out with your commander, your odds of winning jump through the roof. Onto instants. Entis Restoration. Pay 3, sack a land, search for 2 basics, put them onto the battlefield tapped. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you get 3 basics. It's a bit of ramp. It's a bit of a way to get more lands onto the battlefield. Harrow, sack a land, basics onto the battlefield. Same again. Pair of Lost Dice is an incredible card in this deck. It says roll 2d6, return any number of cards with total mana value X or less from your graveyard to your hand, where X is the total of those results, and then you exile the Pair of Lost Dice. This means for 5 mana at instant speed, you can get every single land card that's in your graveyard guaranteed into your hand. So if you've got some sort of draw engine, you've got loads of ways to get stuff into the graveyard, then you cast that, you get them all back into your hand. It can be so much damage, and at instant speed is absolutely amazing. Sprouting Vines, search your library for a basic land card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Now 3 mana seems a bit excessive to get 1 land into hand, but it also has Storm, so if you're playing against someone that's got a bit of a combo going, they're doing loads of stuff, at the end of their turn, you drop that out and you can go and get as many basic lands as spells that have been cast this turn. It doesn't have to be your spells, it could be any number of spells, so that could be really, really good. You happen on a glade, you can search for 2 basics, put them into your hand, or you can return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So usually you would use this for getting extra lands for dealing more damage, but you could also use it to return a key combo piece, like one of those auras that we talked about a minute ago. The land base for this deck is really, really easy. It's a command tower, it's 27 basic forests, and it's 27 basic mountains. That's all we really need. Most of our tutors are looking for basics, and we're not using them for casting as much as we are for ammunition for the commander. Nice and cheap mana base. Sorceries for the deck are as follows. We have an Abundant Harvest, which is like Abundance the enchantment, but it's just a one-off use. Choose a land or non-land, reveal cards. You usually use this for a non-land, I would say, because there's quite a high chance of drawing lands. You want to try and find one of those good bits of equipment that we've got, one of the auras, some of the other enchantments, instants and sorceries that can help us get as many lands into our hand and deal as much damage as possible. Change of Fortune. Discard your hand, draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. This thing can go pretty good as well. If you've got, 5, 6, 7 lands that you've dealt damage with, you then cast that and you'll draw in all of the cards again, dealing even more damage. It's really good. Creeping Renaissance. Choose a permanent type, return all cards of the chosen type from your graveyard to your hand. Lands are a permanent type, so you can do that for 5 mana, get all the lands in your graveyard back into your hand, and it also has flashback for 7 mana, so you can do it again. Cultivate, easy ramp. Explore, again, bit of ramp. You may play an additional land this turn, draw a card. It replaces itself, means you can get an extra land down on turn 2. It's really good. Explosive Vegetation, search for 2 basics, put them onto the battlefield tapped. And Farseek, go get yourself a mountain, put it onto the battlefield. Imposing Grandeur, 5 mana, each player may discard their hand, draw cards equal to the greatest mana value of commanders they own on the battlefield or in the command zone. So for 5 mana, you can wheel and draw 8 cards. Obviously with Gruul, we're not always drawing loads of cards, depending on what's going on in the game. So it's a nice way to refill our hand, guaranteed 8 card drawn. It's really good. Journey of Discovery, you can choose one. You can either search for 2 basic lands and put them into your hand, or you can play up to 2 additional lands this turn. If you have the extra mana, you can do both. You would usually use this early game for a bit of ramp to play extra lands, and late game to get some more lands into your hand for using for ammunition for the commander. Kadama's Reach is in there just for the ramp. Nissa's Pilgrimage is a sorcery. It says search library for 2 basic forests, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, and then the rest into your hand and shuffle. But if there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, you get 3 basics. So for 3 mana, you get a land onto the battlefield and either 1 or 2 basics into your hand. It's really good for the deck. Nylea's Intervention, search a library for X land cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, or it can deal twice X damage to each creature with flying. So the modal spells usually are pretty good for versatility. Again, most of the time you're using this for getting extra basics into your hand to then use with the commander. Rampant Growth does what it says on the tin. And Reap the Past, return X cards at random from your graveyard to your hand, and then exile Reap the Past. If you've got loads of land cards in there, it's an easy way just to get some more back into your hand, help finish off some games, help deal some more damage. Scouting Trek is a sorcery for 2. Search a library for any number of basic land cards, reveal them, shuffle your library, and then put those cards on the top in any order. So for 2 mana, you can go and get as many basic land cards as you need and stack the top of the deck with them. So if you're about to hit someone with your commander, you want to guarantee those 3 lands into your hand, you can use this for that. Or if you've got one of the auras that helps you draw a card every time you hit, you cast that, you go get all the basics, put them on top, and then you're guaranteed to be getting them over and over again every time you're dealing damage. It's really good for setup. Seek the Horizon, search 3 basics, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. 4 mana to get 3 basics, 9 damage. It's not bad at all. And the World Soul's Rage deals X damage to any target, and you can put up to X land cards from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. So if you've got some in the graveyard, you want them onto the battlefield, you can use this as a bit of removal and to get some stuff from your graveyard back onto the battlefield as well. It's pretty spicy. So how the deck works, there's 2 main ways of getting players out of the game and winning, basically. So you can start by using the lands, the second ability to discard a land to remove problematic blockers. That goes away, and then you can swing in for commander damage. It's a 7 power, so 3 hits from the commander will guarantee that the person is out. The good thing about the ability and him having trample is that you can wait for blockers to be declared and then use the removal at instant speed. And because you have trample, if the blockers have died before damage, all of that damage goes through. So it's pretty easy to get this guy through. And then obviously when he does deal the combat damage, you can get some more lands back into your hand as well. It's pretty fun. The second way is to ignore the board entirely and just use the ability to repeatedly throw lands over and over again, keep hitting your opponents, keep dealing damage to them. There are some ways in here to sort of recycle the land, so every time that you're throwing them away, you're getting them back again, or they're replacing themselves. It's really, really easy actually to take people out of the game, especially with other stuff going on. There's other combats, there's 3 other people at the table, all hitting each other. You don't have to be dealing 120 damage. You just have to be getting people down. You can get rid of threats. You can become a bit of a peacekeeper, getting rid of things that need to be getting rid of, or just hurting people that need to get hurt. That's pretty much it. There's a couple of upgrades if you wanted to spend a little bit more money. A Monument to Endurance is a really good card to chuck in every time you discard. Once per turn, you can either draw a card, you can make a treasure token, or you can have each opponent lose 3 life. So that's each turn. So because your commander, you can use it instant speed, you can do it on everyone's turn, so you get back round to yourself. Each opponent has lost 3 life 3 times, 1 for each opponent. You've made 3 treasures and you've drawn 3 cards to try and top up again. And the Surly Badger, which used to be quite a budget card until the Spider-Man set came out and all of the discard synergies, it sort of jumps up in price a bit. But whenever you discard a land card, you make a treasure token. So every land that you're throwing away, you're refunding the mana in the form of a treasure token. Really, really good. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider doing the engagement things. If there's anything you want to see, if you've got any deck ideas, any suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, Monday out.